The Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, commonly known simply as Sandhurst, is the British Army Officer Initial Training Centre located adjacent to the village of Sandhurst, Berkshire, about 55 kilometres southwest of London. The Academy's stated aim is to be the national centre of excellence for leadership. All British Army officers, including late entry officers who were previously warrant officers, as well as many from elsewhere in the world, are trained at Sandhurst. The Academy is the British Army equivalent of the Britannia Royal Naval College Dartmouth, Royal Air Force College Cranwell and the Commando Training Centre Royal Marines. Location: Sandhurst straddles the counties of Berkshire and Surrey. The county border marked by a small stream known as the Wish Stream, after which the Academy Journal is named. Primarily, the Academy is situated in College Town, a suburb of Sandhurst, and partly in the outer region of Camberley Town. The nearest railway station is Blackwater, Hampshire. History. The present Royal Military Academy Sandhurst was founded in 1947 with the merger of two institutions, the Royal Military Academy, Woolwich and the Royal Military College, Sandhurst. The first military academy had been established in 1720 at Woolwich, a town later absorbed into southeast London, to train cadets for commissions in the Royal Artillery. Known as the Shop, this academy moved to a permanent site at Woolwich Common in 1806 and was granted royal status in 1841. In 1806, the military academy took on the training of Royal Engineers officer cadets and, later, Royal Signals cadets. In 1799, a school for staff officers was established at High Wycombe, and in 1801 this became the senior department of the newly established Royal Military College, the brainchild of Colonel John Le Marchant. He opened the junior department of the college at West Street in Great Marlow in 1802 to train gentlemen cadets for the infantry and cavalry regiments of the British Army and of the Presidency Armies of British India. Coincidentally, 1801 was also the year of foundation of Saint-Cyr in France and of West Point in the United States. In 1812 the junior department of the Royal Military College moved from Great Marlow into buildings designed by James Wyatt at Sandhurst. A few years later, the junior department was joined at Sandhurst from High Wycombe by the senior department, which in 1858 became a separate institution, the Staff College. On the outbreak of the Second World War, Sandhurst became the home of 161 Infantry Officer Cadet Training Unit, which moved to Mons Barracks, Aldershot in 1942. For the rest of the war Sandhurst was used as a Royal Armoured Corps Officer Cadet Training Unit. The Royal Military Academy Sandhurst was formed in 1947 on the site of the former Royal Military College from a merger between it and the Royal Military Academy in Woolwich, which trained officers for the Royal Artillery and Royal Engineers from 1741 to 1939. Following the ending of national service in the UK and the closing of the Mons Officer Cadet School in Aldershot in 1972, the RMAS became the sole establishment for male initial officer training in the British Army. In 1984, the Women's Officer Training College Bagshot moved to Sandhurst and in 1992 a new commissioning course finally unified the training of male, female and foreign cadets. The Royal Military Academy Sandhurst collection illustrates the history of the Royal Military Academy, Woolwich, the Royal Military College, and the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. The collection includes the Gentleman Cadet Registers, historic archive, uniforms, paintings, photographs, and other artifacts. For the 1948 Summer Olympics in London, the newly created academy hosted the running leg of the modern pentathlon competition. Training at Sandhurst was the subject of a three-part television series, first broadcast by BBC Television in October 2011, and rebroadcast in April 2012. In 2012 Sandhurst accepted a £15 million donation from the Government of United Arab Emirates for the Zoraid Building, an accommodation block, named after the UAE's founding ruler. In 2013 Sandhurst accepted a donation of £3 million from the Government of Bahrain for the refurbishment of the Mons Hall, named in honour of the men who fell in the Battle of the Mons, which was then controversially renamed King Hamad Hall in honour of the King of Bahrain. Selection. Potential officers are identified by the Army Officer Selection Board situated in Westbury in Wiltshire. Nearly 10% of British cadets are female and nearly 10% of all cadets come from overseas. More than 80% of entrants are university graduates, although a degree is not required for admission. Some officer cadets are serving soldiers. Technically, all cadets have the rank of private. Courses: Sandhurst develops leadership in cadets by expanding their character, intellect and professional competences to a level demanded of an Army officer on first appointment through military training and education. The course is accredited by various academic and professional institutions. The commissioning course lasts 44 weeks and must be successfully completed by all British regular Army officers before they receive their commission. It is usually followed by further training courses specific to the regiment or corps in which the officer will serve. There are two shorter commissioning courses. One is for professionally qualified officers. The second short course is Module 4 of the Army Reserve Commissioning Course, which lasts 3 weeks. The ARCC consists of 4 training modules. The first 3 are conducted under the supervision of RMAS with University Officer Training Corps, with Module 4 of the Officers Training and Assessment being conducted at Sandhurst. This training typically takes 2 years to complete. Upon completion, officer cadets become second lieutenants in the AR or Officer Training Corps. Each year, approximately 140 candidates undertake each of these 2 short courses. Sandhurst also runs a variety of other courses for officers, including the Late Entry Officer course. RMAS is an academic faculty staffed by civilian researchers with expertise in communication and applied behavioral science, defense and international affairs and war studies. Unlike some other national military academies such as West Point in the United States, École Spa copyrights Royal Military de Saint-Cyr in France and the Pakistan Military Academy in Pakistan, Sandhurst is not a university. Organization: in overall command of the RMAS is the Commandant of the Academy, usually an officer of Major General rank. The Senior Warrant Officer, the Academy Sergeant Major, is one of the most senior warrant officers in the British Army. The commissioning course is split up into 3 terms, each lasting 14 weeks. Basic Army training is covered in the first 5 weeks which, by reputation, are the most grueling. The main RMAS commissioning courses start in January, May and September of each year. Each intake numbers approximately 200 cadets, each of whom is assigned to a platoon within one of 2 companies. Platoons are commanded by captains, with a colour sergeant who takes the main burden of day-to-day training, especially during the first term. There can be as many as 10 companies within the RMAS at any one time, each commanded by a major and named after a famous battle or campaign in which the British Army has fought. The company names change from year to year, and are drawn from the following: Gaza Company, the Somme Company, Ypres Company, Alamein Company, Burma Company, Normandy Company, the Falklands Company, Imjin Company, Malaya Company, Blenheim Company, Waterloo Company, Inkerman Company, Dettingen Company. The short courses mentioned above are operated sequentially, and are each known as Dettingen Company. Dettingen Company is divided along the same lines as the regular intakes, though smaller courses may consist of only 2 platoons. There is also a rehabilitation platoon, Lucknow platoon. It looks after cadets who were injured during training, with a view to preparing them to re-enter the commissioning course at the point they left, or processing those who are medically discharged. Cadets who fail to meet the required standard may be back-termed, that is, asked to repeat the previous term and joining a later intake, or to repeat the whole course. Cadets nominate 2 regiments or corps that they seek to join, although in practice this may be influenced by their instructors, if particular strengths or weaknesses or aptitudes are seen to be important. In the middle term, interviews are held and final selections are made by the recruiting regiments and corps. There is competition for strong cadets by the units and, conversely, by cadets for prestigious or specialized units. Exceptionally, some cadets may have confirmed places in regiments before the formal selections or even before starting at Sandhurst. Regular Army. A small number of regular Army units are based at the RMAS to provide support for the colleges and their training. Gurkha Demonstration Company. This is a company-sized unit drawn from all units of the Brigade of Gurkhas, to provide an opposing force in battle training for the cadets. 44 Support Squadron, Royal Logistic Corps. This is the RMAS's permanently based transport, logistic and signals support unit. Until 1984, the RMAS had its own band, the RMAS Band Corps, the smallest corps in the British Army. Music is now provided by a variety of Corps of Army music bands on rotation. Sovereign's Parade. The first Sovereign's Parade was performed on July 14, 1948, in front of King George VI. 3 Sovereign's Parades are held each year outside the Old College to mark the passing out, and the final parade at Sandhurst of the Senior Division. All cadets, except for those who have been back-termed through injury or other reasons, are inspected by the Sovereign, participate in the Trooping the Colour and parade past the Sovereign and guests. Guests consist of invited dignitaries and friends and families of the graduating cadets. During Trooping the Colour is escorted by the Sovereign's platoon, which has been selected on merit from the Senior Division. The Sovereign's platoon wears multi-coloured lanyards, using the colours of all 3 divisions. At the end of the parade, the colours and the Senior Division leave the parade ground via the grand steps of the Old College building. They are followed by the college adjutant, on horseback. Awards. Each commissioning course has awards granted to outstanding cadets. The following awards are presented during the Sovereign's Parade. Others are merely listed in the parade program. A system of cadet government also recognizes merit by the appointment of senior under-officers, junior under-officers, cadet sergeants and cadet corporals. Sword of Honour. The Sword of Honour is awarded to the British Army officer cadet considered by the Commandant to be, overall, the best of the course. The swords were formerly made by Wilkinson Sword, but after the closure of their sword-making division they are now presented by Pooley Sword, who also present swords for the Royal Marines and Royal Air Force. During WWII, when abbreviated courses were run to increase the supply of new officers, a Belt of Honour was awarded instead. Queen's Medal. The Queen's Medal is awarded to the British Army officer cadet who achieved the highest scores in military, practical and academic studies. Overseas Sword. The Overseas Sword is awarded to one of the many cadets from other Commonwealth countries and from foreign armies. The Overseas Sword goes to the overseas cadet considered by the Commandant to be the best on each course. The award was previously known as the Overseas Cane. Duke of Westminster's Sword. The Duke of Westminster's Sword is awarded to the officer cadet considered by the Commandant to be, overall, the best of the AR commissioning course. This sword is also donated by Pooley Sword. Alumni. For more information, see List of alumni of the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst and the category, Graduates of the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. Chapel. There are 2 chapels within the Academy, the Roman Catholic Chapel and the Royal Memorial Chapel, dedicated as Christ Church, which also contains the South Africa Chapel, which was originally the sanctuary of the second chapel before it was enlarged. The original chapel was what is now known as the Indian Army Memorial Room. The Royal Engineers designed the original chapel, which features red brick, terracotta moulding, interlocking pediment copies and corbels in 1879. The chapel was dedicated by King George Virgin Islands US on May 2, 1937, after architect Captain Arthur C. Martin enlarged the building in a Byzantine style. The memorial stained glass and windows in the chapel honor the Brigade of Guards, Rifle Brigade, Royal Fusiliers, and the Hampshire Regiment, among other units. Some memorials, including one honoring alumni of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, are carved into the black marble flooring. On panels devoted to the particular campaigns in which they lost their lives, are the names of former cadets killed in action. At intervals above the panels are circular tablets to the memory of college governors. The names of former cadets who have died on active service in the field, or elsewhere are listed in the spaces between the panels. Other tablets on the walls of the porch of the church were moved there from the old chapel. At the nave near the chancel steps, old regimental colours hang from the pillars. See also List of governors and commandants of Sandhurst, Sandhurst competition, lineage, references, notes. Bibliography, Mockler Ferryman, A.F. Annals of Sandhurst, a chronicle of the Royal Military College from its foundation to the present. Whitefish, Montana, Kessinger Publishing, 2007. ISBN 1-4326-6558-8. Thomas, Hugh, 1931. The Story of Sandhurst. London, Hutchinson. 1961, Christchurch. The Chapel of the Royal Military College, enlarged and beautified to the glory of God and in memory of the Sandhurst cadets who have died in the service of their country. Gale and Polden Limited, Aldershot, 1937. Goodley, Heloise. An Officer and a Gentlewoman Constable and Robinson, London, 2012. External links, Royal Military Academy Sandhurst website, Royal Military Academy Sandhurst Foundation. Includes virtual tour and photograph gallery, Army Officer Selection Board.